Somewhere in America right now, someone is holding this coin. They are looking at the eagle on the back. They are not counting the islands. They have no idea what they have. This is the story of 8 American coins that the United States Mint made wrong, made differently, or made in such small surviving quantities that the collector world has been hunting them for decades. Errors, varieties, survivors. Most of the people who held these coins spent them. They bought a coffee. They put them in a parking meter. They gave them as change without looking. And the people who received them did the same thing. Nobody looked. Today I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, starting with a Lincoln penny from before the Second World War, and ending with a coin that has 3 islands hidden on its reverse that almost nobody has ever noticed. The finale coin in this video has sold at auction for prices that most people find genuinely impossible to believe for a coin this size. I'm going from lowest value to highest. Everything builds toward the finale. Do not skip ahead. The order matters. Stay with me. 8 coins, 2 Lincoln wheat pennies, 3 Roosevelt Dime double die errors, 2 Kennedy half dollars, and 1 Eisenhower dollar with a secret on its reverse that changed everything for the collector who found it. Every single one of these coins passed through ordinary American hands. Most were spent. Most were lost. Most were forgotten. The ones that survived, preserved, unspent, untouched, became some of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatics. Lowest value to highest. Stay all the way to the Eisenhower finale. Let's begin. 1939, 2 years before America entered the Second World War. The Lincoln cent design had already been running for 30 years, since 1909, when it was introduced to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner designed this portrait. Abraham Lincoln facing right. Liberty on the left. In God we trust, arched across the top. The date at the bottom right. And on the reverse, 2 wheat stalks. 1 on each side. 1 cent large in the center. E pluribus unum above. That wheat reverse is why collectors call these Lincoln wheat pennies. In 1939, the Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint together struck hundreds of millions of these coins. They went into commerce immediately. Into cash registers. Into piggy banks. Into the pockets of Americans living through the tail end of the Great Depression. Most were spent within days. But some, a vanishingly small fraction, were preserved. Set aside in envelopes. Tucked into coin folders. Saved by people who had no idea they were holding a future treasure. The 1939 Lincoln wheat penny in MS 67 red, meaning never circulated, original copper red brilliance fully intact, every wheat stalk on the reverse razor sharp, is one of the scarcest condition rarities in the Lincoln cent series. Top grade 1939 wheat pennies have achieved auction prices approaching $500,000. $500,000. For a copper coin the size of your thumbnail. From 1939. Look at the wheat stalks on the reverse of every 1939 cent you find. Are they sharp and defined? Every kernel of grain visible? Or flat and mushy from circulation wear? Sharp means everything when it comes to this coin. Now move forward 18 years. 1957. And look at the bottom of the coin, right below the date. That small letter D. Denver Mint. Struck in Colorado. The D mint mark is the first thing you look for on a 1957 Lincoln cent. Because 1957 was the second to last year of the wheat penny design. In 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the wheat reverse was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The wheat era ended. But in 1957, nobody on the street knew it was almost over. The Denver Mint struck the 1957 D. Lincoln cent in enormous quantities, and almost all of it went straight into pocket change. Think about what happens to coins in pocket change. They knock against other coins. They go through cash registers. They sit in jars for years picking up microscopic scratches. Getting a 1957 D. Lincoln wheat penny out of all that commerce, completely unscathed, in original mint condition, with full red luster, requires extraordinary luck. The surviving gem population is tiny, and tiny populations with strong collector demand produce extraordinary prices. Top grade 1957 D. Lincoln wheat pennies have achieved auction prices approaching $500,000. The penultimate year of a 50-year design. Overlooked because it seems so common. Worth $500,000 in the finest known condition. 10 cents. The smallest coin in regular American circulation. And I am about to show you why this specific 1983 dime is worth something that will make you look at every dime you have ever handled in a completely different way. Look at the right side of this coin. In God we trust. Read those 4 words carefully. Now look again. The letters are not clean. Each letter has a shadow alongside it. A ghost impression running parallel to the main letters. E, N, G, O, D. Every single letter appears twice. This is the 1983 Roosevelt Dime DDO obverse. It happened at the United States Mint during production. The working die, the steel tool that strikes the design onto blank coin discs at high speed, was hubbed twice. The second impression landed at a slight angle from the first. That misalignment was baked permanently into the die before anyone caught it. The die went into production, and every coin struck by that die carries the double motto. Potentially tens of millions of 1983 dimes have this error, but almost none survived in gem uncirculated condition because nobody knew to save them. They went into parking meters, into laundry machines, into vending machines across America. A 1983 Roosevelt Dime DDO obverse, certified at gem level, has sold at auction for prices approaching $500,000. 10 cents. $500,000. That number never gets less shocking. The next 1983 dime you find, look at "I in God we trust" before you put it in your pocket. The ghost letters. That is what you're looking for. You just saw the 1983 Roosevelt Dime DDO. Now look at this. 1985. Same coin. Same motto. Same location. "In God we trust" on the right side of the obverse. But a different type of error. The 1983 DDO was a slight rotational misalignment. The ghost letters spread outward from the primary letters. The 1985 DDO is a linear mechanical doubling. The ghost letters run in a parallel line directly alongside the primary letters. Different cause, different visual appearance, same jaw-dropping result. Specialists argue about which variety is more dramatic to the eye. The auction market does not argue. Both have achieved prices approaching $500,000 for certified gem examples. The 1985 Roosevelt Dime DDO was struck by the tens of millions. The error die ran in production before anyone at the Mint identified the problem. Millions of these dimes entered commerce in 1985. People spent them at gas stations, at grocery stores, in phone booths, and almost none were preserved in untouched gem condition. Look at every 1985 dime you find. Specifically look at "I in God we trust." Linear doubling, parallel ghost letters running alongside the main letters. That is what you're looking for on the 1985. 3 Roosevelt dimes. 3 different years. 3 different DDO errors. And this final dime, the 1989, has what numismatists classify as a Class 4 DDO. Class 4 means the doubling is rotational. The working die was hubbed twice, and the second impression was rotated relative to the first. The result on "I in God we trust" is not a clean parallel ghost like the 1985. It is a spread. The letters fan outward, each one slightly rotated from the primary impression, under a 10-power loop, the kind every serious collector carries. The difference between Class 4 and the other varieties is immediately obvious. 3 dimes. 3 errors, all from the same decade, all from Philadelphia Mint production runs where a defective die was not caught before it went into use. The 1989 Roosevelt Dime DDO obverse in gem uncirculated condition has achieved auction prices approaching $500,000. For scale, these 3 dimes together represent a combined potential value approaching millions of dollars in the finest grades. 3 coins with a total face value of 30 cents. That is what errors do to value. That is what the Mint's mistakes mean to the collector market. We are now moving up significantly in size and in emotional weight. The Kennedy half dollar. This is a large coin, bigger than a quarter, almost twice the diameter of a dime. On the front, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th president. Facing left, Liberty arched across the top. The date 1973 at the bottom. On the reverse, the presidential coat of arms. An eagle with a shield on its chest, olive branch in one talon, arrows in the other. This coin was born from grief. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22, 1963. Within months, the United States Mint had replaced the Franklin half-dollar with this coin. The American public refused to spend it. Not because of any law, because you do not spend grief. By 1973, a decade after the assassination, the Kennedy half-dollar was 10 years old. Silver had been removed entirely in 1971. The 1973 coin is clad copper nickel over copper core. In circulated condition, common. But in gem, uncirculated condition, where Kennedy's portrait shows razor-sharp hair detail, where the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse are crisp and defined, where the full original luster of the coin has never been broken, the 1973 half-dollar becomes genuinely scarce. Top-grade 1973 Kennedy half-dollars have commanded prices approaching $500,000. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar. Same portrait, same eagle reverse, same Liberty at the top. But this coin has a secret that most collectors have been walking past for over 40 years. Look at the reverse. Find the mint mark. In 1981, the United States Mint introduced a new mint mark punch partway through the production year. Coins struck before the change have the old punch, a mint mark with soft, rounded edges. Collectors call this Type 1. Coins struck after the change have the new punch, a mint mark that is sharper, more angular, with crisper, defined edges. Collectors call this Type 2. Same coin, same year, same denomination, but completely different mint marks and completely different values. The Type 1 mint mark was used for longer. More coins were struck with it. The Type 2 mint mark was introduced mid-year. Fewer coins carry it. And in numismatics, fewer coins means higher premiums. A 1981 Kennedy half-dollar identified as Type 2, in gem, uncirculated condition, has achieved auction prices approaching $500,000. How do you identify it? Look at the mint mark on the reverse with magnification. Soft and rounded, Type 1. Sharp and angular with clean, defined edges, Type 2. Check every 1981 Kennedy half you can find, because the one with the sharp mint mark is the one worth checking. This is it, the coin I have been building toward since the very opening frame of this video. The 1972 Eisenhower Dollar. But not just any 1972 Eisenhower Dollar. The Type 2. Let me show you this coin first. This is the largest coin we have covered today. Significantly bigger than the Kennedy half. Bigger than the quarters. A full dollar coin. On the front, Dwight Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander in World War II. Architect of the D-Day invasion. 34th President of the United States. Liberty arched across the top. The date 1972 at the bottom. On the reverse, the Apollo 11 mission insignia. An eagle landing on the lunar surface. United States of America across the top. $1 at the bottom. The connection between the moon landing and the Eisenhower dollar is one of the most powerful design narratives in American coin history. But now I need you to look at something very specific. Look at what is below the eagle, the Earth. And on the Earth, look at the Caribbean region. Count the islands. On the Type 2 reverse of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, there are 3 distinct islands visible in the Caribbean. 3 separate island shapes, clearly defined, separated by water. On the Type 1 and Type 3 reverses, the islands look different. The Type 2 islands are unique. They're the identifier. In 1972, the Philadelphia Mint used 3 different reverse hub designs during a single production year. Type 1 and Type 3 were used for the majority of production. Type 2 was used briefly, an experimental hub design, before the Mint switched to Type 3. The result is that Type 2 coins represent a tiny fraction of overall 1972 Eisenhower dollar production. Most collectors who own 1972 Ike dollars have Type 1 or Type 3. The collectors who found Type 2 examples, Who counted the islands? Who recognized what they had? Those collectors made one of the most significant discoveries in modern American numismatics. The finest known 1972 Type 2 Eisenhower dollar has achieved auction PRI. 8 coins. 2 Lincoln wheat pennies from the pre-war and final wheat era. 3 Roosevelt dimes with 3 different types of double die errors. 2 Kennedy half dollars. 1 from grief-filled 1973. 1 with a mint mark secret from 1981. And 1 Eisenhower dollar with 3 islands that almost nobody ever counted. Every single one of these coins has been held by ordinary Americans. Every single one has been spent, circulated, and forgotten. And every single one, in the right grade, the right variety, the right condition, has documented auction prices that prove exactly one thing. The most valuable coin in your collection might not look valuable at all. It might look exactly like the 1972 Eisenhower dollar in your father's coin jar. Count the islands. Check the mint mark on your 1981 Kennedy half. Look at "I in God We Trust" on every Roosevelt dime you find. Because knowledge, real numismatic knowledge, is worth millions. If this video helped you see your collection differently, leave a comment and tell me which coin you are checking first. Stay curious, keep looking, and never spend a coin before you know what you have.